Hey there everyone, this is Bailee with HVAC Bee. Today I want to talk about a few common things that you can check before calling an HVAC company out to figure out why your system may or may not be working. One thing I want to disclose is if you are not comfortable checking these things, feel free to call a company or to call us. We would be more than glad to help you with your system and what might be going on. But this might save you a little money or just help you in the long run. Number one would be check your filter. If it's been a while since you changed your filter, you just had construction done, renovations, anything like that, that can play a part in why your system's not working efficiently or not working at all. Anytime you go and you look at your filter, I always do the light rule. You can't see through it when you put a light up to it. It's definitely time to change your filter. Or it's just been a while, and like I said, construction, renovations, a lot of time you'll see that white dust from them doing all that work, and it's important to change it then. Most 1-inch filters, they say to change every 1 to 3 months. If you have pets or children or floor vents, definitely try to change it more often or just keep an eye on it. A lot of times things get swept into those floor vents that you may or may not know about, and that will clog your filter really quick. You'll notice signs of it taking longer to cool down, or even icing on the evaporator or the copper lining, because when you don't have airflow going through your system, it restricts everything and you're choking it off. So it'll start to freeze, and you may even notice puddles of water, that kind of thing, from where it's melted. So always check your filter first. The second thing I would say always check is your thermostat. A lot of customers are really good about making sure it's on, your air's on auto, the fan is on auto, but making sure your system's set to on. Fun fact, just because you put it down to 60 does not mean your system's gonna cool quicker. So I always tell customers to start a couple degrees at a time. Always check your batteries if your thermostat takes batteries. A lot of times that can be an issue. You're not getting the correct power, so it's not turning on. The thermostat's always a good one to check. You can always turn it off, give it a couple minutes, and then restart it. If you have a smart thermostat like an Ecobee or a Nest, a lot of times they'll tell you what the issue is or give you symptoms. So it might tell you your system's been trying to cool for 16 hours, or your RC wire, which a lot of times that's something in the circuit. So a float switch, which a lot of people will have. It'll mostly look like this guy or something similar. It's gonna be in your pan, and it has a little bobber. So anytime there's water in the pan, it will go off, or even on your drain line, which is on your PVC, you'll see this kind. A lot of times it may or may not come with this. You can open it up, and it also has a little bobber. So that would be your RC wire if your thermostat's throwing that code. So your thermostat is a good indication or something to check when your AC is not working or not working efficiently. Another thing would be your circuit breaker. So on your panel, you should have one labeled AC. It's usually a double pole, and if it looks tripped, you can try turning it back on, or if it's completely off for whatever reason, try turning it back on. If it continues to trip, definitely call an HVAC technician or specialist. Most of the time it could be the breaker itself or something on the high voltage side from the outdoor compressor that's pulling too much amperage or grounded out, that kind of thing, and that's where you would definitely want to call us. But always make sure somebody didn't turn it off on accident and that's not the issue. Another important one I see all the time is water in your drain pan. So if you haven't changed your filter and it caused it to freeze up and it melted, your system's low on refrigerant and it freezes up and melts, your drain line is clogged. That's a huge one we see, especially going into the spring season where it just has been clogged, a lot of growth and that kind of thing in the system. So one thing with those float switches, if there's water in the pan, that will trigger it and tell your system cut off. Now, your system still may have on fan mode, so it still might be blowing out air, just won't turn on the outdoor, so your actual AC circuit won't come on, and so you'll just feel that warm air blowing out. So if there's water in the drain pan, that could be something. If you feel comfortable cleaning up the water yourself, you can do so with a shop vac and see how your system runs afterwards, especially if you had a clogged filter and you had to change that out. If you notice your drain line was clogged, which you could also hit with a shop vac from the outdoor or the indoor. And these are just a few common things we see all the time that we get there. And it's something simple that can be avoided on an unnecessary trip from an HVAC company or just spending the money in general, especially if you feel comfortable enough doing it yourself. But yeah, so these are just things I would definitely check out, and if not, definitely call an HVAC technician and we will gladly come out and help you figure out your system and what needs to happen next. This is Bailee with HVAC Bee, and I'll see you next time.